What's up, nerds? Welcome back to Erico Blueberry, an unassuming Destiny podcast. My name is Chillybin.
I'm Meckii.
Yeah, good. I thought you had actually frozen legitimately there.
I should have kept the bit going.
I got real worried. Yeah, welcome back to the show. It is now a full week and a bit since Witch Queen came out. Since Witch Queen came out.
Quame out.
Weech Queech. Little callback to last week. So hopefully we've got some more fully formed thoughts. Yes. Last week was a bit all over the place. We'll see how we go. We didn't make notes for this episode, so it's going to be full send it mode. I've also full sent it this afternoon by going to a pub, having a few beers, coming home, making this margarita, and eating a burrito. Hence why my mouth fails to make words. How are things over there?
Slightly less waterlogged.
That's right. Your state's fucked right now.
But they predict storms will be coming back, so yay. That's about it.
Love that.
So between like the COVID cases and the water, I just have not left my house in 2 weeks except to buy the limited amount of groceries I had access to.
Yeah, like I was talking to a coworker who's up that way, and he was like, "Yeah, I got some eggs." I'm like, "What?
You got eggs?
It's not enough."
Bitch, I will swap him 4 eggs for like a knob of butter.
Yeah, his plan for the weekend was to go to a supermarket that is on high ground. It's like, I mean, good thinking, but everyone's going to be doing that.
I've kept joking with people that like up here we're going to have to go back to like medieval bartering.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to have to start baking bread to give to neighbors for like toilet paper and like eggs.
I remember hearing from my parents back in I think it was the 70s in New Zealand during the like oil crisis, the fuel crisis, where they had like fuel rations. You could only put petrol in your car on every other day or some shit. Man, I thought we'd figure this shit out, but the world is fragile, as are we. Anyway, let's talk.
The world's on fire. How about yours?
Yes.
Sorry.
No, I appreciate the reference. Somebody once told me that Witch Queen is out and we've been playing it a whole bunch. The new raid is out this weekend, but before we talk a bit more about that, let's talk about our leveling journeys, our raid preparation. Why don't you go first, because I feel like that'll be shorter.
Wow, rude.
I got 3 characters, you got 1.
1, rude. 2, rude.
Yeah.
It's been... Actually, I was going to say it's been a struggle, but compared to DSC prep with all the new leveling stuff and the fact that it's only 10 above what you can hit with the legendary campaign,
yes,
it's actually been pretty cruisy. I can't really complain. It's been long hours, but in terms of the actual grind itself, it feels a lot less tedious.
Yeah, I will say, like, you know, I went through the legendary campaign before you did, and observing your journey through it, like on your only character, it didn't seem like, because you played through the regular campaign before doing legendary, so you're already starting.
I did it solo, like the OG campaign.
Yeah, and then by the time you're doing legendary, you're doing it with friends, and you're already starting ahead of the like power cap for each mission, so you didn't have to stop and grind and get up to that point again like you do when you go through it the first time.
I did, knowing that I wanted to do legendary and everyone being like, yeah, we're going to have to get you through legendary because of that
benefits,
big boost it gives you. I did some like pre-legendary prep in the weekend before we actually went into it. So the Saturday before we started it, I sat down with 5 team members and just did a whole bunch of world stuff. Went and did bounties, but kind of balanced it so that I didn't proc my pinks or my powerfuls while I was doing it.
Yeah.
And just did a bunch of like repeatables just to start to get that level up there and those drops up there, the XP up there, and I think it really helped.
Yeah. Yeah. So by the time you were like getting close to finishing that legendary campaign, it started to get rough, but I think that was more just there was a lot going on, and fatigue and like work getting in the way, and even with And this is the thing, like, because of the way the revive tokens work, I think that was hard trying to do it with two. Because as soon as one person drops, you're kind of on your last chance immediately. Whereas having that third person, that extra revive token, you've got that extra buffer. Even though there are more enemies, if you're able to stick together and, like, you know, complement each other with the playstyles and abilities and buffs and shielding and whatever, it is almost easier to do it with three than it is with two, even with the scaling of the enemies.
I think what helped too was when we eventually completed it, we completed it with 3 people who we had jumped on that day specifically to do the legendary campaign. Whereas when I did it
you were
with
up to the last mission.
Yeah, when I did it with you and Alex, you'd been playing all day, and then Alex had been playing all day, and then I'd been playing all day. So by the 8 or 9 o'clock at night that we actually sat down and started it, we were all weary. Like, we were tired, and like we were pretty exhausted.
Yeah.
And I think that contributed to it as well.
Yeah,
like that last struggle.
Yeah, I think too, like, you and I had been working up to that point for, like, I don't know, an hour or two. And so you and I were getting into this rhythm, and then we added Alex, and he was like, then he had to go through this, like, mini calibration in amongst that new group of 3. And we didn't even get to a point where it's like, okay, we're each running these builds. Here's how we're going to approach the encounter. We were, like, just starting to figure that out when I was like, it's midnight, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Also, I've had a couple of people say to me now that it's actually kind of an adjustment, me playing Void and a high damage class, because you're so used to me playing like
super conservative and defensive. Yeah.
And now I played with we haven't mentioned them by name yet, but I played with another fire team member who I usually end up playing with when you guys go to bed. And he was just like, yeah, it's really weird to see you up in the face of like enemies and stuff. It's really unusual to see you play hyper aggressively. And I was like, yeah, and I've been told I'm playing more aggressively with my wells too.
Yeah. I mean, you get the well so fast, and it keeps everyone alive. That's the point, right?
So in my New Year's resolution episode, when I said I wanted to play more aggressively and change my playstyle, I fucking meant it.
You're getting there. We'll see how much
Void has helped.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll see how much that sticks on day one. Valve the Disciple. I think we have to mix some things up there, but yeah. So you got the legendary campaign done, hit that 1520 with all those drops, and now you're basically raid ready. I think, right?
I'm 1539. I think I'm base power level is 1532, and then I have 7 artifact.
Oh yeah, you're golden.
Yeah, but I want to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, like, at this point, I think I said this.
I want to get more drops too. Like, I want more variety in my high level drops. Yeah, so I'm hoarding world drops like a goblin.
That's basically what I said to you. Is like, at this point, you don't need to push up. You need to push like horizontal and get enough different tools in the toolbox at the right power level, so that if you need to, for example, I don't know, switch to a Phoenix Protocol build or a Stag build, or I don't know, stasis. Like, you've got that stuff just ready to go, and you're not like, fuck, I've got to go back to the tower and get an upgrade module and do all that shit.
Yeah. Another thing that's been helping me is every time because end of last season, I hoarded resources. I was not upgrading anything. I was not collecting, like, once I'd stacked all my bounties, I was not collecting bounties. I was just running shit over and over again so that I could get my enhancement cores, glimmer, bright dust, all of those kinds of resources. And then just every single time I visited Banshee for the last week, I bought 5 upgrade modules. So at the moment I'm sitting at like 25, 30 upgrade modules just for the raid.
Yeah, good.
Same with prismatic stuff, like the prismatic shards or whatever they're called, the yellow ones. I've forgotten the name.
Glow sticks?
Enhancement cores?
Enhancement prisms.
Prisms.
Yes.
That kind of stuff. I've been hoarding that as well. Just in anticipation that I'm going to have to emergency pull things through DIM and just feed it.
Yeah, I mean, you'd only need those prisms if you're trying to masterwork something, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. The only thing I'm short on is ascendancy shards. But they're a little bit...
Oh, the golf balls?
Yeah, they're a little bit hard to get.
That would be, you're trying to masterwork an exotic.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that, really.
But other than that, I think I'm mostly raid ready, but I would like to get a little bit more raid ready.
Yeah, now it's
I'd
just
like to have that safety net.
yeah, and the confidence of like I know the tools that I'm working with, and I know what I can do with them, and that's kind of like my plan a little bit for tomorrow. I need to retool my builds a bit more towards elemental wells. My plan is to like put something together and go into one of those legendary campaign missions solo and just like see how it feels, because you're basically playing on contest mode light in those, just to like work out, is it going to work? Am I getting, is the right stuff dropping? Like, are the right abilities triggering? Is everything proccing the way I want it to? Because I do need to not start from scratch, but like the way I used to play with Charge with Light needs to change because orbs aren't dropping as much. But there's ways to like use elemental wells to kind of supplement that. But that's like super nerd build shit that I'll figure out tomorrow, I think.
All I have to say is if you are listening and you do not use DIM, use DIM.
God, yeah.
Destiny Inventory Manager.
Yeah.
Because you can save builds in that and just hit it and it auto loads it onto your character, and that is
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't done that.
I still have my Garden of Salvation build.
God. I haven't set any of those loadout things up. I keep meaning to, and then I keep like changing parts of what I'm using to the point where I'm like, it's fine. Like I'm either running the same armor set all the time and swapping the exotic out, or I'm changing stuff a lot at the start of a season, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. But I should do that anyway. So you're basically raid ready.
Yeah. I didn't think I'd do it, but I did it with 2 days to spare.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of the reason I wanted you to go first is I got there in like 3 days. Granted, I took time off work, and it's basically all I did for that 3 days. But the legendary campaign, and then all of the like the rewards you get out of that, plus all the way the world drops work, and the way that bounty stacking helped for sure. Like I was at 1530 on day 3 on my Titan, I'm pretty sure, after doing the legendary campaign, and it's just crazy how much better that feels, how relieving that is to reach that point so quickly and then still have a full week to like do all the other stuff. So like I played through the regular campaign on my warlock. That was the first thing I did, and then went the next day and started on the legendary campaign on my Titan, on my main, and then I think we got that done same day, if not the next morning. So yeah, day 3 basically.
I'm looking in the server because you guys were posting like screen caps of your power levels as you were hitting them, and it was like a 72-hour period. You posted like 4, just like boop 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 boop.
Yeah, and trying to wait until season pass rank 26 before popping any of the bounties, because that's when you get like a decent XP bonus. And then I went from 26 to about 48 by doing that, after doing it across all 3 characters, and then popping all the seasonal challenges. But in terms of the power grind, like it just felt so much better than that Beyond Light grind that we did for like a week, like 10 to 16 hour days for basically a week straight, and then still only just getting there in time for the raid.
Yeah, just to like jump in there, I think, what was it? You and I were up until I think 2 a.m. the night before DSC, just trying to get me to that final little cap, and even then I squeaked in just under.
Yeah, and that honestly, looking back at it now, you weren't ready. Like you had only just got there, but you didn't have time to like get settled in your build, get all the things that you might need up to the right level. Like you basically had to go in and use one set of tools. That's all you had, because everything else was way under level, and you're coming in contest mode.
But then also on top of that, I just organically fell back into my support role, which was like, shit, everyone around me keeps dying. Well time. Like it's time to go back to Well and Xeno and a submachine gun and an auto rifle, because I know that's what I can use to keep my friends up.
Yeah.
Which like I need to stop doing. If
I
I
mean,
want to
like,
try Void and
yeah.
I don't want to be the support anymore, I've got to put my hand up and be like, can I try Void?
I mean,
Like
no,
I did with the Legendary campaign
just
where I was like,
start doing that. I mean, the thing is, like,
well isn't working. Can I try Void?
yeah, like you know that you've got that to fall back on, or if the team needs it, you know how to do that, right?
Yeah.
But the other thing is like with something like a day one raid, individually, we all need to be able to keep ourselves up as much as we can.
Yeah.
Like with those res tokens and how hard that shit is going to be. It can't all be on like one or two people playing warlocks to keep everyone else alive, because it's just not sustainable. Like we're not going to have a shot at getting anywhere close to finished if that's how we're approaching it. Anyway, so yeah, my warlock I haven't touched since I finished the campaign that first time, and so that is sitting at like I don't know 15 just with like all the boosts from the weapons and artifact and whatever. My Titan, however, I've gear capped it. I'm in the pinnacle grind already.
Yeah.
Well, not full gear cap, but like powerful cap. I'm done. I'm at 1550. I'm like very close to 1551 gear score, and that's week 2. Like we're not even halfway through week 2. It's like that is how much better this grind is. Is that it's not actually a grind. Like it was a challenging campaign, and honestly, really fucking well done. I'll say that again. I'll say it every day.
Yeah, as much as a struggle it was, the Legendary campaign, now that I've played it, it felt good. It felt like a good challenge. It was a challenge, not a chore, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
As someone who is also actively pushing themselves to be a better player,
Yes.
it pushed me to be a lot more aggressive and then think a lot about my builds and how I play as well.
Yeah, and it felt more like high level Nightfall strikes, honestly. Like I think they said it was somewhere between like top level and Grandmaster. Like it's in that spot. It's not quite Grandmaster difficulty, but in terms of how it feels, it's a little under that. So spoilers, if you enjoyed that, maybe it's time for you to push into high level Nightfall stuff, maybe even Grandmasters, because they're that kind of challenge and you get a lot of good rewards out of it. And it's week 2, so you've got time to like get really ready to hit that shit. But
that's my goal for this season is I want to run GMs and Nightfalls with you guys. So I want to be able to do that.
Yeah. And then a lot of that is pushing to play more aggressively than I think you have. Devour is a tricky choice because in that high level stuff, you're not always killing stuff fast enough to keep it up. But between things like Child of the Old Gods and some of the other stuff that you can do.
Grenades.
Volatile is my bread and butter right now. Vortex volatile grenades. Oof. Delicious.
Vortex volatile grenades with weakening and devour.
Yeah.
That's how we got through Savathun in leg.
Yum. Leg camp.
Leg day.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think as far as I know, everyone in the raid team that we've got for day one is very ready in terms of power levels. We're not starting at the same at like launch time, where I think for me we're starting at 8 a.m. because we've got you who's an hour behind that, and then someone else who's 2 hours behind. So we didn't want to have them getting up at like 4. We'll see how we go. Val the Disciple, Sunday morning, Chicky raid.
We're not in it for the belt.
No.
The belt. Rah. It just sounds like wrestling.
I mean,
we're not in it for the belt. But I mean, it's also just a fun time, day one, as frustrating as it can be. It's just a fun. It's really electric. Like everyone's buzzing. Like we're all so excited to see what this raid is. Some of us will be watching the actual beginning of the race and then looking how people are getting through stuff. I personally want to go in blind, so I won't be doing that. But I also trust the people who are getting up early to watch the stuff. So it's like not the blind leading the blind. It's I genuinely went into DSC blind and it was fucking amazing. Like it was just discovering all that stuff was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Seeing that stuff for the first time is always special, whether that's like day 1 with contest or it's day 2 or day 50 without. Like, I mean, we've spoken about Deepstone Lullaby before. I almost wept the first time I heard that. But part of that was also like, the emotional buildup of us even getting to that point because we spent fucking, what, 8, 9 hours stuck on Atrax. And then it's the
Yeah.
next thing after that.
Yeah.
Man.
Deep Stone made me cry.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's going to be our Sunday. I mean, you and I will both be streaming. There will be others in the group streaming. Social links are down below for all of that. But yeah, I think, yeah, our first day one attempt was a Deep Stone with Beyond Light. And like looking back on it, I don't think I ever thought we were going to get it finished because it was our first time even doing a day one. And I think over time we've kind of like not resigned ourselves to that being how we approach these, but it's just like, look, that's who we are. We're not those kind of sweat lords that are going to go and actually take a shot at doing it day one and really believe that they're going to do it. I think like if we get there, that's fucking great. That to me is a stretch goal. To me, it's more about that experience that you kind of spoke about, that feeling of discovery and the excitement of the whole thing. And then we'll probably get halfway through and then come back the next day and blow it over, right? Same thing we've done with the last two. We get to Atrax with Deep Stone Crypt, and then the next day we come back and there's half of a guide out, and then we're just able to knock the rest of it over pretty quickly. My prediction is it'll go a similar sort of way where we're going to hit some sort of gate, not get past it, and then the next day without contest mode, it's going to be pretty straightforward.
Yeah. I think the day ones are also just really great for our friend group too.
Yeah.
I feel like, and we talk about it all the time because it is such a special place for a lot of us, but like I think DSC really like reinforced and built some of the friendships we have within the server right now.
Yeah,
Like
this is going to be nothing for most of the people who watch this, but it birthed the Piss Triangle, which was just a particular group of three players.
The Golden Triad.
Yeah, it just became the name that we referred to ourselves as because we just ended up the three people on the bottom floor for the Atrax encounter, and then for some reason we just called ourselves a Piss Triangle. I don't even remember.
Day one fatigue.
Yeah, probably. It was a lot of that.
And I feel like every fire team has that like moment where something is just not working and you change one person for another, or you change a couple of people around, and then it just goes. Like it just clicks. Everyone has that like it's hard to avoid people's play styles, personalities, but just within fire teams, there's always those combinations that are just the golden combination, the quote unquote. Like we try and stay away from terms like God roll, but it's just a good combination in terms of play styles, and that might change with me playing more aggressively. The Piss Triangle might not work in Disciple.
I'm fully planning to go into this as a like volatile bubble Titan, and that is very different to how I've played for the last, I don't know, year. Like, I would use bubble more as a damage strat, but now because of how fast it charges and pops, and the way that the vortex grenade plus volatile works, and the shield throw also doing volatile, it is both defensive and offensive, and that is such a weird kind of style for what bubble used to be.
And I want to go in as a Void Warlock just for the hyper aggressive ad clear.
Yeah.
Like I want to pair that.
It might not work, and then we'll switch it up. And like I've got 3 or 4 different things I could switch into pretty quickly, and they do different things, right? Like running Path of Burning Steps and Sunshot, or a Curus, Falling Star Thunder Crash. There's some options in there.
Yes.
But
I might just go back to my high-res Spooky Deer build.
Yeah.
With big damage output.
It works. And then things like, now we're looking at exotic pulse rifles having a flat 50% damage increase against minor enemies. So that is going to change loadouts, right? Like maybe Bad Juju comes back, especially if you're running well, and then you can get that thing wicked fast.
Yeah.
That was always like the thing I did a lot through that first campaign run for Witch Queen was I'm running well and I'm running Bad Juju, and this thing just keeps going, right? And then cool. I tried Void, and that was actually a lot of fun. But yeah, that you you switch things up depending on what's good at the time.
And then you run a mod where your grenades return super energy as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. It
And then the ice and fire mod
was last season, right?
where I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still here, but there are a couple of mods that when you pick up wells, the little wells, the elementals,
Yeah.
that they your stuff as well. So
Yeah. Yeah. There are those. I
you could
think.
you
Yeah.
could make that build even more spicy with the right mods.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's my plan tomorrow is to. I keep saying I'm going to go into the lab. I'm going to nerd out on some shit, and hopefully I come out with something that works for me.
Go into the leg.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to load that first mission and just like dunk on some Cabal. Honestly. Just like, hey, check this shit out, and there's just elemental wells everywhere that give me charge with light, which let me do other dumb shit. That's the plan.
I'm unstoppable.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah, well, especially because, like, you can get elemental wells popping out off, like, grenade or melee kills, and that's something I'm doing a lot of. And then pick those up, get charged with light. That gives me the chance to use protective light to keep myself alive, or Argent Ordnance to make rockets more powerful. So there's some systems there I want to try and incorporate. But, yeah, requires me to really sit down and have some time to think about it.
We can workshop some stuff tomorrow because I've got some combinations that I want to try and bounce off you as well.
Yeah, and I think I also want to, I don't know, redo my fashion for the raid. I guess like a new look,
Gotta pick a clan color.
It's more just changing the armor up a bit. Like, Saint 14 from a punk rock show was fun. I still love that look. But maybe it's time for something new. I don't know. Not a lot of stuff from the TWAB today. There's some raid relevant stuff. It was more just explaining
Raid
contest
prep.
mode a bit more, I think. And links to like where to watch the race. Not that we're putting ourselves in that kind of category. We'll be on Twitch. I wouldn't put us in the race.
We'll stream it, but do not expect a serious stream.
No.
I think most of us will, like, after we're done with the coffees, we'll be on the beers, so.
Oh, I need to get beers tomorrow.
Oh, I've got some Strong Zero in the fridge. I spoiled myself. The money I couldn't spend on buying groceries because I didn't have excess, so I spent on Strong Zero.
Haha. Crush a couple of brewskis with the boys.
Oh no, I'd get banned. I was going to say shotgun a Strong Zero on stream, but you get banned for that.
Why? Oh, binge drinking.
Because of alcohol advertisement laws in Australia. Anything
right
a little bit too like woohoo, look at alcohol is not good.
What about like doing a shot?
I don't know, because
what if I sip it from a shot glass?
Just to steer off course for a second, IEM in Australia had shoeies banned because the Australian government took an issue with it because it was perceived as promoting binge drinking.
I mean, it is. No one should do that.
So I feel like when it comes to individual countries' tolerances for those things, I think Twitch just has a blanket kind of application of no excessive alcohol on stream, no drugs on stream. I think they've just had to blanket wipe that one.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to risk it because I'm an inch away from this close to being an affiliate, so I'm not about to get myself banned on the front door of affiliate by shotgunning Strong Zero.
Be a hell of a way to go out.
My first sub, shotgun a Strong Zero to celebrate.
Oh no. But also, yes. No, don't do that. Every time you get like an additional 10 subs, the thing you drink escalates.
And then when I get a big enough audience, I start selling crypto.
No, don't bring crypto into this.
It's the scumbag pipeline.
No, I'm going to get mad. I don't want to get mad.
What you just described to me is the scumbag pipeline.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Arbitrary goals to hit with subscribers.
Yeah. Then it turns into a grift. All right, let's steer this back on track.
No subathons from Meckii and Chili unless it's for charity.
Yeah, that I think I can do. So what else happened this week? We played a lot of Mayhem last night.
We played a shitload of Mayhem, yeah.
I had a few very responsible drinks.
I got
And
pretty intoxicated as well.
yeah, I think by the end I was like, I'm gonna put some whiskey in a glass, and then I looked at what was in the glass. It was not a lot of whiskey, and then there was in the bottle also not a lot of whiskey. So, guess what? I combined the two in the glass.
Boop, boop,
It
boop, boop.
was a good time. Yeah, just screaming about mayhem. I fucked around with the bubble a little bit, as I am wont to do for a bit of a laugh. Is pop the bubble, wait until it charges while I'm in the bubble, take 2 steps forward, pop it again, and then someone tries to come in, I just punch him or I glaive him. That's my new fun trick: is glaive plus bubble.
Just a little jab.
Yeah, yeah, because you also get the lunge.
Just a
So
poke.
if they're outside the bubble, surprise. The funniest shit though is when someone on the other team was also doing bubble, and so I would be there in my bubble. Well, actually, no. The best one was like they had theirs. I ran in as far as I could, and then popped it, and then we were like this far away from each other, and then we just started like crouching, and then everyone around us is like blowing up, and we're just like,
You guys had a Beavis and Butthead moment, just completely oblivious of everything around you. Just
yes. And then also messed around with the new version of Sentinel Shield plus Doomfang Pauldron, plus whatever the thing was that gave me an additional shield throw. So I was basically doing my usual bullshit, which is 100 intellect. I'm going to sit in midair and just sling frisbees until I hit the ground. That shit never gets old because those things bounce and track, and now they do volatile and everything explodes. It's so good. Oh.
It's like with the right combo, you can just keep procking Dawn Blades. So
Yeah.
there was like a point where I was like, oh, my Dawn Blade's back. Oh, Dawn Blade's back.
Yeah. Yeah, I did also... Oh, what was it? We had like a playlist going, and Whip It by Devo came on, and then just said, okay, every time you get a kill, you got to say you must whip it. And then that was just like the next 10 minutes. That's all I heard.
That started with What's Up by Young Gravy.
That's
so every
right.
time we
It's
killed
just, "What's
someone, we
up?"
had to go, What's up?
What's up? And that's the kind of shit you can expect from Erico Blueberry and our assorted friends. It's just dumb, scuffed shit that entertains us and maybe no one else. So
that's the best way to. It's the best way to have online friends, though. Is just
entertain yourselves. If that sounds entertaining, I guess tune into us trying to beat this raid on Sunday, because it's probably going to be a bit of that. Plus, like, tiredness.
I feel like, without like promoting ourselves too hard, I feel like we're a good watch as well because we are very aware of each other, but we're also very good at telling when we are each getting frustrated. So we're not the kind of fire team that when you watch us, you're going to feel uncomfortable because we blow up at each other on stream.
I can think of a fair list of Destiny content creators that fit that mold.
That's my main problem with watching raids and early raid content. It's because like
it's toxic.
I don't know, hearing friends argue always makes me really upset. Like,
it's
it makes
not
me
arguing;
sad.
they're yelling at each other, like legitimately, just like you're an idiot, you got this wrong. It's like, what are you doing?
It just makes me sad. I'm
Yeah.
like, friends, like if you're friends, you should be able to have these conversations without tearing each other down.
Yes.
And we're all of the same mindset. So yeah, we get frustrated with each other, but usually that means we will be like, hey, drink break, stretch, let's change it up a little bit, let's take a break. Or we're very quick to be like, hey, your tone getting a bit rough, pull it up.
I thought you were gonna say get in the bin. But yeah, and I mean, you know, part of that is we haven't always been good at that, but also we've spent the better part of the last 2 years playing this game almost daily in this group. So we've had a lot of practice.
I've cried a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably not alone.
Guys, I've suggested we try the thing and no one listened to me.
Please stop.
Validate me.
Fuck.
I know I'm right. I just need someone else to say I'm right.
Yeah.
That way it's humble. It's not pretentious.
Fuck. Yeah, so tune in Sunday morning Australia time.
Sunday.
Fucking Monster Truck Sunday.
You don't need to pay for the whole subscription. You don't need to pay for the whole seat. You only need the edge.
Wait, are we edging our audience?
Please no.
Are you close?
You close?
What are we doing? We should have made notes. Now it's
Oh
hard
my
to.
God knows.
I can't segue. What else did we do this week? I went back to work. That's what happened.
I was gifted Elden Ring.
Yeah, you were.
So whoever gave me Elden Ring, thank you. You know who you are.
But you
Homie,
don't know who that is.
That's like a $90 game. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You got expendable income? You single? Come hang out.
Damn, you need a sugar daddy? Here come the Twitter bots.
Oh no! No, I know who it is, and I don't know if they're comfortable being named, but
No, fair.
you know who you are, and thank you for the hyper-aggressive message that you included with it.
Oh, okay. I gotta get more creative when I gift people things on Steam.
Basically, I found out, and I was like, yo, homie, I owe you. And their message was just basically, you don't owe me shit, go tug your nuts. And I was like, well, thank you.
That's perfect.
The opening line of the message was hot girl on Twitter that I follow.
Okay. Nice.
No. Great human. Very appreciative. But once this raid is over, oh boy, am I ready to scream at some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I have not gotten through any of those games. I don't know if it's me or just not spending enough time with them, but I keep meaning to give Bloodborne another shot. I hear it's good.
I'm like, you're talking to the person who has like bonfire tattoos and stuff. Bloodborne's my favorite.
Yeah.
Because
I've got it like in the next room.
That eldritch horror kind of.
It's gross and wet and I hate it, but I also kind of like it.
Yeah, it's super interesting and the lore is like beach.
Did I ever tell you about like the way that game does surround sound shit and how it like fucking freaked me out one time?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess for the audience, because otherwise that's a shit story. So the last place I lived in, when I like it was renting. When I moved in though, they had like a 5-speaker setup built into the walls and ceiling, just left behind, and the speaker cable just sitting there. So I went and bought a receiver so I could run all of them. Had a subwoofer, had the PlayStation hooked into that, and so it was like, you know, TV, a speaker either side of it, a center speaker under it, mounted on the wall, all of that, and then a speaker left and right in the ceiling above and slightly behind me. And that game does some really fucking gross stuff with surround sound with the weather. So it was like rain and like a soft bit of thunder and stuff coming through. And I legitimately thought there was a thunderstorm outside on a clear night because of how well it did that and how much it was just around me. It was, duh.
I have I don't know what the technical term is because it's not surround sound in a headset. But you know,
like that virtual 3D audio stuff?
Yeah, like the virtual 7D audio or whatever they call it now. My PlayStation 4 had one of those big expensive headsets that like won it. The thing that got me was they also do that with character location.
Sure.
And some of the enemies, like the lichens, talk under their breath or like mumble to themselves.
No.
And I lived by myself in a bad neighborhood in like a building that had been established when my city had been established and converted into studio apartments. So like, I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm pretty certain that building was haunted because shit like that happened in that building.
Yeah.
And it was an old like colonial jail and hospital and
love that
wool shed. It was everything. So I'm pretty certain it was haunted. But when you're by yourself at 2:00 in the morning playing Bloodborne and you can hear insane muttering behind you, I took my headset off and then just went to bed and just
turn all the lights on
up over my head and was just like, I can't handle this.
I'm gonna play this in the daytime.
But I love Bloodborne. It basically, one of my exes and I are still good friends, and we still quote the villagers all the time. Like, we'll just be near each other, hanging out, and we'll be like, away, filthy thing. Like, we just yell that across the house.
Yeah.
Filthy thing.
I haven't played much of it, but I know that.
Away, you filthy thing. It's so good. We're now a FromSoft podcast.
Yeah, someone tells you to talk dirty to them, you hit them with that.
Away, you filthy thing.
Spotty.
Infected you are.
Oh, no. Oh. That's taking a weird turn. We should. We either need to talk more about Destiny or get out of here because I got nothing on FromSoft games.
The Witch Queen's just.
What is this song? What is this video? What is this episode?
The Witch Queen's just scrambled our eggs a little bit.
Yeah, a little for real.
We've hit that point in the grind that I feel like a lot of Destiny players know where you just lose your fucking mind after a while.
Yeah, you're stuck doing Wellsprings for 2 hours trying to get one weapon to drop, and you're just like, I don't know which way is up anymore.
We've hit that point in clan raid grind where daytime Destiny is now all-time Destiny. Like daytime Discord energy, people know exactly because I see it mentioned on Twitter. Like, why is daytime Discord twice as fucked as nighttime Discord? It's that 24/7 now. It's just daytime Discord energy, 24/7, baby.
Yes. I don't know. Right now, super in the mood for it.
But there's definitely
been a couple of days recently where I'm like, I don't want to talk to these people right now because I know what I'm going to get.
It's just me bullying you, let's be honest.
Yeah. And
it's just me roasting everyone because I'm sick of them.
So right.
Like, you're my best friend, I love you, but I've also been online with you for 9 hours every day for the last week. It's time for me to bully you.
I've heard all the mannerisms and I'm going to bully you about them. I know exactly.
L plus ratio plus get bullied.
Oh my god.
What was the one last night? Didn't ask, plus you're white, plus ratio.
That's right. That was about something else. But yeah, it's just I'm at that point where tomorrow, for some reason, I'm going to IKEA on a Saturday. And I'll probably edit this tomorrow. I'm not going to do that after this. Then I'm going to fuck around with some builds, and then I don't know. I don't want to go into the raid hating things. I feel like, a fresh new raid is going to pull me out of any of that kind of stuff, but I want to go for as long as I can tomorrow,
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit of, not burnout, but I saw it described as Destiny discontent, where you've just hit a point where you're just like, I love this game, but it's feeling a little bit yucky, so I might pull back a little bit because I don't want to ruin... I did that with Witch Queen. I pulled back for a while because I didn't want to ruin an upcoming experience because I'd overdone it. And I feel like some of us are kind of hitting that point where we're like, hey, over the next couple of days, we might take it a little bit slow because we want to keep that momentum for the raid.
Yeah.
And then I think some of us are going to take just maybe a couple of days, a break after we could finish the raid, jump onto some neglected games.
Yeah, I think that's...
Hang out with people IRL that we might have been neglecting.
Yeah, actually. I mean, that's always been how I end up doing this, and probably will be this time, is, we beat that raid kind of in the day or two around it, and then...
I play Minecraft.
Well,
usually.
There is that. But, like, that next weekly update hits, and there's, like, the post-raid in-game update, there's the next story beat, and then I'll kind of just like hit that weekly story beat and then just kind of vibe and not play it every day necessarily, or not spend many hours every week. Might be like, yeah, cool, I'm going to check in, do the weekly stuff, do a few bounties, do some stuff. And then, maybe go, I don't know, play more Magic the Gathering, or play Vampire Survivors, or Minecraft, or some other shit that doesn't need my brain that much. Or like sit on the couch and drink a beer. That's good too.
More Jackbox.
That is always good.
More party games.
Yes. Yeah. A lot more of that sort of stuff. Because we'll have the time for it, because we're not just fucking, if I'm awake, I'm grinding.
Party Animals is coming out soon, so if you're looking for something fun to do with your fire team, it's basically Gang Beasts, but with cute animals and more mechanics.
Okay, interesting. I'll keep that in mind. As for this, though, I think we should probably wrap it up here, because I'm losing it with the air conditioning turned off, I'll tell you that much. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. There's a storm
around.
Yeah, so we need to get out of here. So, as I was trying to wrap up, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. As I said earlier, links down in the description to Twitch and Twitter for both of us. we'll make a bunch of noise on Sunday when we go to have a crack at Valve the Disciple. Is it Valve the Disciple? Yeah, that's the name.
I think we've just decided because all of our raids have 3-letter abbreviations.
Just Val.
Val or VOD.
VOD. Yeah, we got VOG and VOD. But anyway, that'll be this weekend. Tune in, subscribe, like, follow, etc.
And watch a stream and eat
I was going to say,
breakfast
like,
with us.
leave a rating and a review, but that's for the other show I do where that actually matters. Anyway.
The show I'm going to become the new host of.
Yeah, actually. How much do you like beer? Anyway,
I'm new to beer, so it could be a whole adventure.
It really could. Speaking of adventures, let's get the fuck out of here. We'll see maybe some of you this weekend. Otherwise, we'll see you next week with a post-raid episode edition of this here show. I'm tired. I'm so tired. Anyway.
I hid mine with makeup. But I got some fucking check-in luggage sized bags under my eyes at the moment.
I've really boned myself with the good camera and the bright lights. Like, you can see all of it on me.
You want to know how dark my eye bags are? Amethyst veil purple.
Choice. All right, we'll see you next time.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Away, away, filthy thing.
Every time I go to write down the timestamp and you say some shit.